I'm here to talk about what happened to me over the last 24 months. I have a unique story, and I guess, frankly, it's one that I would have wanted to have heard when I got started 2 years ago, okay? I went in June to Vegas. Nathan and Chris, you guys know, short sale kid. And I sat out in the audience, and there was all these speakers, and, I was just getting started. Literally, I was 30 days in. I had never done a deal, and didn't know what to do. So I was there looking for help, looking for inspiration, because I needed it. I needed it. I was there, and in the midst of losing my own house, and the phone ringing all the time, not from clients, from bill collectors. And I guess people thought I was busier than I was because it was ringing all the time. When I see the 888-866, I know who it was, looking for money. But I went there, and I guess in a way I was kind of frustrated. I was mad. I was a hater because people were like talking about their success and pictures of yachts and planes and private jets, and I just wanted to pay my mortgage. I just wanted to survive. And I guess as things went on and hanging out with successful people that had achieved things in life that I wanted, I learned that you can have those things, and it's okay to dream for those things, But the matter at hand was I needed an extra $1,000 a month to survive. And I was desperately hoping that someone would show me how to do that. And so that's how I got started. I got started in short sales. Now to back up a little bit, 4 years ago in April, I got my real estate license out of necessity. I got the license to make some extra money coming off of a divorce. And I started doing short sales because frankly, we got an email. I'm at Keller Williams. I'm from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. And somebody said, hey, here's a short sale listing. Who wants it? I'm a brand new agent. I didn't have any listings. So I said, I'll take it. But the interesting thing is the email went out 4 times. And I wasn't smart enough to realize that nobody else wanted the listing. Like, there's a reason nobody put their hand up and said, I'll take the short sale listing, because they suck. I didn't know it. I was brand new. So I took it, and then they're like, all right, well, you got to send all these papers to the bank. I'm like, all right, what papers? And you have to create a HUD. I knew what a HUD was. I just went to real estate school. I didn't know how to create one. And so the whole process of a short sale, I was kind of thrown into it. And so one led to another. I was successful. We closed it. It took 8 months, and it worked. And I started doing more and more and more, and I was negotiating my own deals, and I became known as the short sale, listing agent, basically doing listings. People came to me when they had questions, and that's how I got started. But I started going on webinars. If you're sitting in this room, you got on somebody's email list, and you're probably on multiple lists like I am, probably too many like I am, and you start getting all these things, and come on my webinar, and come to this meeting. I was overwhelmed, man. I didn't know what to do, because I started thinking, okay, should I do short sales? Should I do luxury short sales? Should I do REOs? Should I do rehabs? What am I going to do, So I actually contacted Nathan Jurowitz on Facebook, and I said, hey, man, look, I went out on YouTube, and I found this guy by the name of John Michaelides. John did this 120-day challenge. He was about 30 days into it, a guy down here from Sarasota. I don't know if you guys know him. And he was making a video blog of himself every day, holding himself accountable. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. My name is Brian, not John, but I'm going to do Can Brian Make It? So I registered a URL, and I called Nathan. I said, listen, man, I just bought your product. I decided to go with him. I said, I have a very unique background. I'm going to do things differently. I said, but I want to hold myself accountable. Do you mind if I make a blog? He said, nah. He says, listen, man. He said, I don't know you, and frankly, if you fail, I can't afford that. I'm like, what? I'm like, you don't know me, man. First of all, I'm not going to fail. But I can understand what he's saying. I'm kind of promoting him, if you will. So we talked a few more times, and I decided to do it. As a matter of fact, if you go to my website, I have a website. I don't have a product. Okay, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to talk, all right? It's shortsalestallion.com. So shortsalestallion, STALLION.com, and I'll tell you quickly how I got to that name. But the thing is, will I have a product one day? Yes, I would like to, because I have a lot to offer, and I'm about to tell you why. What I've created in the last 24 months is impressive. It's very impressive, which is why I'm speaking here today. But I'm going to release a free ebook real soon, which I'd be happy. It's all my tips and techniques and paperwork, and I'm just going to get it out there. So if you put your name and email in, we can keep in touch. But if you go to that website, you can see all my videos. There's 120 of them. I did a video every day. Sometimes they were a minute long, sometimes 3 minutes, but I did a video every day to hold myself accountable, Because I said, listen, man, I started speaking out to the world, I'm going to do this. Now, I didn't know if I was going to be successful or not, but I knew the one thing that I could control was the work effort, I could control what I did every day in the business, and I couldn't control the result, but I could control the work that Brian Meara put into it, okay? And so we started, and actually I started in Italy. See, I live in Italy 3 months of the year. I don't even live here. And that's a whole other story, but I'll live here in the States for 3 months, go back for a month. So 3 to 4 months a year, I live there. So I had to have a business. I took Nathan's system, and when I created my own, I said, all right, it has to be completely remote, It has to be something that I can do that can be done when I'm not there. And then I started thinking about it. A lot of people have jobs, full-time jobs. This is real estate investing. It's, especially anymore, there's not a lot of full-time people doing this. People are doing other things. And so how cool would it be if I could create a system where even if you had a full-time job, or this maybe right now is not what you do full-time, if I could stand up here or anything and say, hey, listen, man, I don't even live in the country 3 months a year, and I got it done, then I think that would build credibility. And these were the thoughts I was having in the mountains 2 years ago, before, again, I was doing short sales as a listing agent, but as an investor, I had never done a deal. And what kind of piqued my interest is I started saying, all right, here I'm making my real estate commission. I make the listing commission when it doesn't get cut. And these investors were flipping houses, They're buying, reselling, buying, rehabbing, doing this. And I started working with them. I started realizing, man, listen, on a $100,000 house, I'm making $3,000 if I'm lucky. This guy's making 30 grand, 40 grand. Like, that's the kind of money that I need. I'm on the wrong side of the fence. So that's when I decided I'm going to keep my license active, which, by the way, is, people say all the time, do you need to have a real estate license to be an investor? The answer is obviously no. But I think it's one of the best things that you can do. I did the 2-week crash course. I went, 2 weeks. I took my time off from my other job, and I just did it. And I think that having access to the MLS alone is worth it. But I think more than that, if you're not a realtor, you got to realize a lot of realtors have this mindset that the investor is the bad guy. The investor's the greedy investor. And I don't know why. It's kind of stupid. I never felt that way. But when you can approach them as one of them, one of the brotherhood, hey, I'm a realtor too. I'm an investor, but I'm just like you. It's a psychology thing. And they let you in. So people say all the time, where do you get your leads? Okay, you're doing short sales. Yes, and I started and I had nothing. We have 87 active deals right now in the file, in the pipe. We closed 4 last month. We'll close 6 this month. We're averaging 5 deals a month, okay, closings. And we close 90% of every deal that comes in, 90%. So yeah, it's a lot of money, Now, I'm not flipping them all. Let me be, if we can be straight here, no errors, no BS. I can't tell you how many deals that I will make $1,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 on an assignment or a negotiating fee, and I'm happy to do it. Because when you're doing 4 or 5 a month, guess what? That adds up. 30% of them, we flip. I'll buy it and resell it. And sometimes after you pay your negotiator and your team, and you want to compensate the realtor on both ends, because even though I'm an agent, I never act as the agent in the transactions. I have to disclose that I'm a licensed agent, but I'm not either the listing agent or the buyer agent in anyone. Jeff Watson is my personal attorney now, and I have him on retainer. I met him through Nathan and everything. You can legally be the agent, but it's just kind of not a good idea. And plus, you don't ever set yourself up as a competitor to the people who are going to be bringing you business. The thing that I've learned by, associating myself with the gurus, if you want to call it that, and the people who've been extremely successful, is that there's a million different ways to get leads. I personally have one, and it's getting it from realtors. That's the magic, all right? I've never done a mailing, I've never done lead generation on the internet. I would like to, just don't know what to do, to be honest with you, you know what I mean? But, and that's obviously things that I would like to get into one day, but what I started doing those first 120 days is talking to realtors and saying, hey, listen, I'm starting a business and I'm going to be working with listing agents so you don't ever have to talk to the bank. And the biggest thing I ran around saying, the phrase that I said 7 million times, hey, listen, you're a listing agent, work with me, and I'm going to guarantee your commission, and when we can, we'll double it. I'm not running around saying we're going to flip every house, but when we can, we'll double your commission. Obviously, I would use them on the back end, but I'm going to guarantee your commission, and you're never going to have to talk to the bank. And see, having been a real estate agent and having done so many short sales, I knew that was the pain. I knew that's the one thing that they hate, listen, if you're selling houses and you're working on getting leads and working with buyers and all the things that you do as an active real estate agent, you don't have time to sit on hold with Bank of America. Well, let me back up, that would be Equator now. You don't have time to sit on a computer screen and messing around. That's taken away from productive time that you should be doing other things, which would be, as an agent, buying and selling houses. So that was the magic, man. That when I started running around telling people, listen, never talk to the bank, make 6 to 9%. I was like the Pied Piper. You know, like people are like, are you serious? Obviously, you start getting met with skepticism. So I wouldn't talk about my successes because I didn't have any. I started talking about the successes of the people that I work with, you know, the coaches that I align myself with, the people that I was working with. I started talking about, well, listen to what my team does. And see, I could say I was a part of that team because I was now coaching with them. It wasn't much. I was paying back then $100 a month, $200 a month, just to go on a weekly webinar. But I knew I was getting the cutting edge information, you know, the changes. You know, this industry changes so fast, especially in short sales. Short sales is a funny thing, you know. People are afraid of it now. Let's just call it straight. People are afraid, you know, flipping properties. But see, the thing is that if you do it right, you don't have to be afraid. If you know that what you're doing is legal and you know that you're following all the steps with your disclosures and all the other things that we do, there's nothing, you know, I'm glad that people are leaving this industry on the short sale end because it leaves more business for me. Now, again, I think that, you know, I have business in 16 states, not because I traveled around looking for it, but because a realtor I did, you know, a deal with would say, hey, I have a cousin down in Atlanta, or, you know, would you help him? And sure, because guess what? My negotiators can do a deal anywhere in the country, as can yours. And if you have a local agent on the ground that'll bring you that deal, you can do business anywhere as a short sale investor. That's the only reason. Now, yeah, 90% of my business is in Philly and Jersey because I'm right on the border. I grew up in Jersey, but you can't tell if I have an accent a little bit, you know. But that's my business, you know, it's local. And I spent my time in the beginning, because I wasn't physically in the country for those first 30 days, emailing and calling people, okay? Calling them, just saying the same thing over and over. Let me send you an email. Let me send you a link. And there was a little canned presentation, Nathan. I think it's still up. I think it's called, if you send me an email, I'll send you a link to it. It's pretty cool. I think it's double your commission or make double commission.